very, very much for everybody coming out. My name is Thomas Shabilla. I'm the Democratic chairman in Luzerne County, and I'd like to thank everybody for coming out. Also, I would like to thank Luzerne County Community College, my employer, for giving us this room for today, and Scott Cannon Video Innovations for filming this event. Just a few ground rules on this forum. Everybody will get the same questions. We will go in order. We have chosen randomly. The candidates shall be given a 1-minute period to introduce themselves to the audience, each candidate will be given a 1-minute period for closing statements at the end of the forum, in the reverse order of the opening statements, and everything will be going until 8:30. And also, if you have additional questions, there are pencils and note cards, and you can, if you can bring those up. So, someone up there as well. So we will get started very shortly. Our first candidate, Dawn Simmons. You have Tony goes first. I'm sorry. Okay, Tony, you were number one. Please, again, 1 minute to introduce yourselves.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Tony Brazia. First of all, I'd like to thank LCC College for this event, Luzerne County Democrat Party, the moderators, the attendees, and I'm a first-generation American. I'm married 51 years to my wife, Linda. We have 2 kids, 6 grandchildren, and the reason why I'm running is I would love to see my grandchildren stay here in Luzerne County so they can prosper. Thank you.
Johnny.
Okay, good evening, everybody. My name is John Price. I am very happy to be back here at the Luzerne County Community College. I graduated from here with a certificate in emergency medical technician a number of years ago now. A little bit about myself. I am an EMT here in the area. I'm also a lifelong resident of DuPont here in Luzerne County. In addition to being an EMT and serving with the Transmed Ambulance and Greater Pittston Regional Ambulance, I have done an awful lot of political work for the Matt Cartwright campaign, for the Jim Haddock campaign, and for the Alexandra Kravitz campaign. And so public service has been a thing that I've been very much so and heavily involved in here in Luzerne County, and I hope to continue that on Luzerne County Council.
Thank you very much.
Good evening. My name is Denise Williams. I'm running to put the focus back on where it belongs, on the people of Luzerne County. I firmly believe that to make our county a better place, we need council members who are committed to working together and finding solutions to the challenges our community faces, such as to solve the problem of how to keep our high school and college graduates here after graduating, to solve the problem of how to attract young professionals to come stay and thrive here, to solve the problem of more available and attainable housing, to solve the problem of bringing in companies that offer better paying jobs, to solve the problem of addressing long overdue road and bridge repairs. If elected, my commitment to you is simple: to do my homework, to come prepared for every issue, listen closely to your ideas, concerns, and opinions, to use common sense, good judgment, and always strive to do what's right. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to earning your support.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Stephen Coslett. I am born and raised in Kingston. I now reside in 40 Fort. I am a 24-year retired correctional officer with the Luzerne County Division of Corrections. After working in the county and for the county for 24 years, I'd like to continue my public service by helping the people of this county have their children stay here, their grandchildren stay here. I believe we have a lot of work to do to get better paying jobs. I think we need to keep the taxes low, and I think we need to get the infrastructure straightened out. We have a lot of bridges and roadways that desperately need attention, and I believe we have to get that done quickly. No more waiting on it. So I'd appreciate your support, and I thank you all for being here, and I thank LCC and Fern and Tom for having this forum tonight. Thank you very much.
My name is Chris Bellis, and I'm running for Luzerne County Council on a promise to make a better life for everybody here in Luzerne County. I want to thank the party and the audience for being here today. It's a really great opportunity to, come out, connect, explain some policy opinions that we all have, and you're doing your democratic duty just by participating. So thank you so much for that. A little bit about me. I was born and raised here in Luzerne County. My mom's a school teacher. It was a union house. And it was the kind of place where my mom put a Christmas on a credit card in order to be able to pay it off for the next 6 months. Very middle class. And it taught me a lot about hard work. It taught me about a lot about resilience. And I think that it's a very similar story that a lot of people have here in Luzerne County, and it, you know, over the course of the next 2 hours, I think that you're going to get to know about me and hopefully support me. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Dawn Simmons, and I want to thank you all for coming out tonight and supporting our running candidates. Thank LCC for entertaining our endeavors tonight. I was also a student here at LCC, and I took the stenography class. So I'm familiar with the administration and the campus, and it's good to be back. So a little bit about myself. My name is Dawn Simmons. I'm a U.S. Air Force veteran. I'm a mother, a realtor, and a community advocate. I'm running for Luzerne County Council because I believe in leadership that should be about service, not just status. When I first put on my military uniform at 18, I did so to defend and protect our country and something bigger than myself. I vowed to protect community and the people that I love. That same sense of duty is what drives me to run for county today. I still believe in showing up, protecting what matters, and standing up for those who feel unseen and unheard. Here in Luzerne County, we have too many families that are struggling for rising housing costs.
That's time.
Okay, well, thank you for having us, and I hope for your vote.
Thank you, everybody. Okay. So let's get into our questions, and a number of these questions were derived from online, sent to us via email, and we will also get to a number of your questions. So our first question will go to Johnny, and the first question is, how would you improve the county's response to the opioid epidemic, which continues to affect many local families?
I think that's a phenomenal question. A number of years ago, my father, Bob Price, and former Councilman Matt Vogue, they embarked upon an endeavor to do these panels throughout different localities here in Luzerne County. And what they did is they brought in these different services for people who are afflicted with addiction, not just for the people who have addiction, but the families of people with addiction, friends of people with addiction. And they also brought the support services there. And so simply, having a forum in which, folks who have battles with addiction or friends of battles with addiction, simply having a forum where they can come together with the other, the support services out there, I think that would be a great endeavor for us on County Council to continue that, and to at least bring that back. Removing some of the stigma involved with reaching out for the necessary support is something that we have to do here in Luzerne County to fight that epidemic.
Thank you. Denise.
Yes, I attended the last, the first panel that was held with the advisory committee for the opioid crisis that's been set up by the county council. It took place like I'd say it was about 3 or 4 weeks ago. I think one of the main things is to continue to listen, to hear input, and I think it's vital to hear the input from those community stakeholders who are on the front lines, to hear from them their suggestions, their best input on how to address this, and then to discern that on not only a county council level, but to give input to that panel, that committee that is right now making the decisions where the monies are going. Thank you.
Make sure your microphones are on, folks. That red light means the microphone is on.
Scott.
Hello. The opioid problem is extremely vast in this county. After being in the county correctional facility for 24 years, I've seen every aspect of the opioid crisis. I believe that one of the things we failed to do is have the success stories of people that have beat it come in and speak to the people that are trying to. and I think we need to get more of those people involved. I think we need to make sure that our opioid settlement money is not going to rehabs that just cater to out-of-town clients. It has to be used to treat the people in Luzerne County that are going through this. I believe that the opioid settlement is a great thing, a great tool to be used, but we need to use more resources to help these people. I believe that a lot of the money is going elsewhere where it shouldn't, and more so to treat people from out of town that have a problem, which I understand they need help too. This money's to help us in Luzerne County. Let's get our own treated, then work outside the scope. Thank you.
So, pardon me. Without breaking anonymity, I have a pretty intimate grasp on the subject. The board is not comprised of the right people. We need to have a board that has people that are former addicts that have beat this thing, that are made up of parents or spouses of people who have been killed by the opioid epidemic, and people who have intimate knowledge of what addiction is and how you beat it. So the board is comprised of not those people, and it needs to be comprised of those people, and that's how you actually affect change on this subject.
So let's face it, families are being torn apart by this opioid crisis. The county is set to receive $23 million from through the national opioid settlement over the next 18 years. I think that money should be used better and more wisely to help our communities and prevent overdoses. Also, it can aid in our county with the issue of, like, RFK right now is reducing help for substance abuse, and I think that the county would be better suited to help our residents. Thank you.
Back to Tony.
No, it's Denise. It's going down this way.
No, we have to go to get to Tony.
Oh, I'm so sorry. That's my fault.
If I'm elected, I would definitely get involved with this issue because I know people who have been addicted. I think we need the right people on the board, like was previously said. I think we're spending too much money on the TVs, not with the people. And I understand recovery, Christian recovery is one way, but there's also AA and other programs that we can use that money for and get these people to go to rehabilitation. And I would definitely be glad to work with that. Thank you.
Great. We'll start with Denise on this question. How will you ensure transparency and accountability in county government?
Yeah, that's something that I was very fond of when I was on the Board of Elections. Accountability, transparency, those were words that I often said and were basically my mantra, and I feel very strongly about. And that's something that's in my priorities and my commitments and a lot of the information that I put out on my Facebook page, that I'm all about transparency and accountability 100%, not only for myself, but the entire county council and the entire administration in county government. Thank you.
Yes, as far as accountability and transparency, there's many of you in this room tonight that want to see what the panel has to say. Accountability and transparency, as far as I'm concerned, come to the meetings, watch the meetings. If you have questions, please ask. If you need answers, I will be available after meetings. You could come to me and speak to me. I will get you the answer. If I don't have it on the spot, you'll have it within 24 hours. That is a commitment that I make to the residents of this county. As far as accountability and transparency, you have to ask questions. We are there to do meetings. You can see the meetings, but if you have more questions, by all means, hold us responsible. Come and talk to us. We will get you answers. We will call you. There will be availability for you to call us. And I really believe that's the best way to be transparent and have accountability. Have the residents, we should be held to that standard. You're coming there for answers, you should have them. Thank you.
When it comes to accountability and transparency, I think that the public gets the sense that decisions are made outside of their eye. So, county council meeting is happening. There's not a whole lot of debate. It is the legislative body, but we aren't debating issues in front of you guys. You don't see a whole lot of discussion, and namely, when you don't do that and you don't put things up for a vote, then you don't get to know where everybody sits on the issue, and you don't get to hear their explanation of why they voted yes or no. So it does need to be a little bit more deliberative, and I think that that would go a long way to solving the problem with the transparency and accountability.
To me, transparency means that you make sure that people can understand and have access to the information that happens at the county meetings. It means the county was really established to restore public trust after some situations that happened in the past. My role in county council would be to ensure that I show up and that I listen and communicate regularly with the public, to make myself accessible to any questions via phone calls, social media, and make sure that any rules or things that happen in the meeting are available for public consumption.
The accountability. I've been on Luzerne Borough Council for 25 years. And at those meetings, we had to be accountable all the time. We had budgets to do. And all the time, the people were in the audience, they would come up and ask me what they need in the borough, and I would definitely look into whatever they needed. So it's the trust. They knew they can trust me, and I did whatever I had to do. And that's all. Thank you.
So Dawn mentioned the word access. I truly think that's the key. Transparency, accountability, that really only comes as long as the public has good access to county council. Now, Scott Kennedy does a phenomenal service to the public when he live streams our county council meetings. And he'll post them on social media. I think social media is a good tool that county council should use. Not only that, I think it's a service that county council owes to the public to be more accessible on social media platforms. I'm sure everybody in this room has a Facebook account. You should be able to see and access your county council on Facebook, on Instagram, on different things like that. So I think transparency and accountability, that'll really only come as long as our county council is more accessible to the public.
Thank you very much. So it's spring. We all know in northeastern Pennsylvania, in Luzerne County, it's road construction season. So we have many roads and bridges in disrepair. Advocate to federal and state governments to take care of these travelways they are responsible for. And more importantly, will you make it a priority to fix all county roads and bridges? And I think we start with Steve. Yeah.
Yes, as far as the county's road and bridges, we now have 3 major bridges that are out of service: West Pittston, Antico, Carousel Road in Dallas. I believe some of this could have been prevented by preventative maintenance, having a plan in place for when this happened. This was going to happen. There's no surprises here that this happened. The way it happened should not have happened. These things should be taken care of prior to when we have to close them. Have a plan in place. If not, already a new construction already started. Secondly, I think a lot of the roads in this area, the county roads, I think we need to come together with the municipalities that can help take care of them. It's a lot to put on the county road and bridge department. It's a very small department. I think a lot of these roads we need to, again, like the bridges, we need to look at repairing them before we have to replace them. Repairing takes a lot less time and a lot less money than a replacement. Thank you.
So there's just under 125 miles of county road and approximately 300 bridges, if you believe what is published in the Times Leader. I tend to, so that's what we have to take care of. Plan ahead. Don't wait for a bridge to have to be closed down before you build its replacement. Try to be fiscally responsible and actually make repairs as opposed to having to replace because you let it get dilapidated. Those are all great ideas. The other thing that I would say is that there are certainly federal grants that were available to fix a lot of the problems, and we did not apply or write for them. And that is an issue that the county dropped the ball on. And those federal funds are probably not available anymore.
Well, speaking of the federal funds, from what I understand, the county has received about $112 million from the federal recovery funds. So I believe that those funds should be better used and directed towards other projects of infrastructure besides just roads. We do need our roads fixed and our bridges that are falling apart to be repaired or replaced. Some of them are well over 100 years old and require substantive change and repair. Talk about growth and safety for our residents. Better roads and better use of the budget would be more advantageous to our residents. Thank you.
If I'm elected, I would use my experience being on Luzerne Borough Council. We had to do roads all the time. And we had a plan for that. You had a budget for that. And this is what we need to do in the county. We have to have better planning, better plans. And to understand where the bridges are done, and also with the blueprints for the bridges, all this is all tied in. I've done all that with the projects in the borough. We got a new police station. So I'm looking forward to working on these issues we have in the county.
This is fundamentally a question on the management of Luzerne County's budget. There has been mismanagement in the past, and of course we could have accessed that federal funding, and we did not access that federal funding for our crumbling infrastructure. I understand that in a couple of these cases now that the state is in charge of repairing some of these bridges due to Luzerne County's mismanagement of funds. Years ago, the state has allowed counties to add a $5 surcharge onto vehicle registration fees. Luzerne County opted into that plan, and again, the funds that were allocated, all of those funds, every penny was going to go to infrastructure. The funds that we received from that in Luzerne County, we mismanaged those funds. We had to refund every single penny, every single taxpayer dollar. So it's a mismanagement of funds that has led us to the sticky situation that we are in, and it's something that we on Luzerne County Council have to endeavor to. Those are mistakes that we cannot repeat.
Well, over the last 2 years, 3 years, a lot of time has been spent during county council meetings on a lot of nonsense, when a lot of this should have been being addressed. Instead of talking about resolutions, ordinances, vacating the election board, ordinances to end ballot drop boxes, mail ballots, resolutions to our state reps. That was a lot of nonsense, and this is one of the things, one of the main reasons I ran. The real issues, the real needs of voters were not being addressed, and every time those things came up, I could not believe it. So I think more time should have been spent focusing on these, and maybe it got away, and maybe things could have been happening a lot sooner if they weren't addressing these not this nonsense. Right now, I think the bottom line is we have to keep pressure on that these things get done, the roads, the bridges, and I think this should be on the agenda for every meeting.
Thank you. So our next question, the Democratic Party, as always, tries to be friendly with our brothers and sisters in labor. So what can council do to attract good-paying jobs while protecting workers' rights? Chris, yes, you are starting.
Boy, I'd hate to use a one-word answer, but the LERTA system. So, we need to use tax abatements intelligently in order to draw in investment in order to develop our infrastructure, in order to develop real jobs, high-paying, good quality, and yes, hopefully union jobs. And we need to do it in a way that prioritizes local labor. End stop. That is how we push this county into the next century and actually have a situation where, yes, our young people can stay here and thrive here and raise families here and build their lives here with pride and dignity.
The local unions are the backbone and foundation of our communities. They are actually the ones that actually build the foundations and our buildings and bridges, and so it would be in our best interest to make sure that we allow and create job opportunities using small business funds. We already, in Wilkes-Barre, we have something called the SPARK program, and the BDLP, which is a business loan, a small business loan for people in the community that would like to make new businesses. This is how we can attract and sustain new businesses in our community.
Tony.
Yes, I was the Wyoming Valley West President support staff, and I got a contract for women when it wasn't popular back then. The women had a tough time getting anything. So I was a big part of that. And I would take all that experience that I know there to help bring the RCOs and get the union workers back into the county like we had before. At one time, I believe it was 100% union workers, and we want to get back to the 100%. And I definitely will work towards that. Thank you.
I think Chris is exactly right. We need to invite people, private investors, to come in, invest in Luzerne County, and I think the type of work that those investors will bring, that would be union labor. That would hopefully be union labor. Another aspect of this, and this comes from my background in healthcare, we have a number of healthcare providers here in Luzerne County, namely one very large one. And I mean, I'm sure anybody who's been paying attention to the news would know of the previous healthcare strikes. I think that there are things that we can do here in the county level to pressure the healthcare providers that we have here in Luzerne County to compensate the workers here with fair pay.
First, I'd like to say that I support the responsible contractor ordinance that is being discussed within the county council members and within the committee of county council at this time, and I've already shared that position in several different ways. But what I'd also like to share is I think that we need to be visionary in Luzerne County. We can't just react all the time. We need to look ahead, and the council needs to do that. And they need to look ahead at things through that lens when they're making decisions. I think the county needs an economic blueprint, assess where we are now, set shared goals for job creation, business expansion, infrastructure improvements, and workforce development. Design strategies and initiatives to meet these goals, implement and evaluate the program over time, and involve stakeholders from within the community, government officials, businesses, community members, and experts. It's a community response.
Yes. I'm the son of a man who was a 40-year union member with the operating engineers. I am a 25-year member of the Laborers International. I believe the two ways we do this, we need the LRTA. The LRTA is a fantastic way to get new business in here, and not just warehouses. The LRTA helps all kinds of businesses. It even helped the Wilkes-Barre School District with their new school. I also believe in the RCO very strongly, the Responsible Contractors Ordinance. I believe we need that to make sure that our workmanship in this county stays the best. We have great unions in this county. It keeps jobs local. Those people staying local with good jobs, they're going to pay taxes in this county. That's going to help everybody. And I really believe that when you have those two things come together, we can grow this county. Your kids aren't going to leave. Your grandkids aren't going to leave. They're going to stay here. So I believe highly in those two initiatives to keep this county moving forward. And I think it benefits everybody in the long run, from health care all the way down to getting your car fixed. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll go with Dawn. How do you support county services that assist seniors and people with disabilities?
Well, our community of families that have disabilities and lower income situations that need help, I would work with the budget to develop housing and infrastructure that would be more attainable and accessible to these individuals. I would create and assist other mental health organizations that implement programs and assist with services like Step by Step. They have housing and mental health services for individuals that require these things. And that's how I would help our communities with disabilities and mental health struggles.
Tony. Sure. How would you support county services that assist seniors and people with disabilities?
First of all, I would definitely do my homework, first of all, to check to see where all the funds are coming from, how much funds there are, to see who's in charge of it, and also to see the disability people are getting their fair share. Because a lot of the stuff could be spent on different things, and you need someone to check the books to make sure the money's going for what it's supposed to go for. And I think we're not checking the oversight is what I'm trying to say. We need to have better oversight to check what's going on. Thank you.
This actually becomes a question of food insecurity to me. I think a lot of us have something comes to mind when we picture the term food insecurity, but I believe it's an issue that uniquely impacts our disabled community and our senior citizen community. I'm a proud member of the DuPont Lions Club. One great thing that we do as a part of the Lions Club is we work hand in hand with the Weinberg Food Bank. And in my time with the Lions Club, oftentimes I'm delivering food to the residents in DuPont and the surrounding area. This is a thing that impacts our older folks, and so I think on the county level we can work with resources like Weinberg to make sure that it is more accessible to senior citizens, not just in DuPont but across the county.
Well, seniors and those with disabilities have a very big place in my heart. I worked for CEO in the home health program, which was for seniors quite a few years ago, and I was a community sports specialist for Step by Step. So I know the plight of the seniors and those with disabilities. I'd want to hear from them. I'd want to keep an open invitation to contact the county council. But I think one of the big things is to promote and educate informational opportunity on what programs the county offers. I don't know if it's done as well as it could be, what's available to seniors, to those with disabilities, more informational sessions. So I think that's a big part of it, to really educate and inform and listen to those populations. Thank you.
I think right now the county does a wonderful job with helping the elderly and the disabled get to their appointments, but I don't think it's enough. I believe we should have a committee that deals with all the high rises in Luzerne County and all the assisted living centers for the disabled elderly, and find out what their needs are, and find out from the people that are in those places, what do they need? What can we help them with? Then I think we get the county officials involved and we say, make sure this is taken care of. We have to look out for them. They're the ones who brought us here. So I think we need to take better care of them. I think they deserve that. I think they deserve dignity and respect. And I believe the best way to do that is find the people that work with these people every day, find out what their needs are, and then we work from there.
I'm in agreement, Steve. We do need to ask the question, what's important, before we start to answer the question for any group, right? Once you figure that out, my guess would be that a group of people that has limited income, or let's say predetermined income, right, a fixed budget, if you will, in an era where food is getting more expensive and housing has, excuse the pun, gone through the roof, and transportation is not easy because these are populations that, you know, have places to go and not a lot of ways to get there. Those would be three good guessing places for me to guess as far as what we have to do. But the point remains, everybody's a little bit different. No two populations are going to be exactly alike. No two people within a population are going to be exactly alike. And this is going to be a big thing for open ears. And certainly I'm open for it.
Okay. We're back to Tony. How do you address the needs of county departments that are understaffed or underfunded?
Thank you for that question. Well, first of all, when you do a budget, you know what you have. So there's ways of doing the hours. You may have to cut hours or raise taxes. But people don't want to hear about raising taxes. So you got to find ways of working with less, and that's a challenge. And I've been on Luzerne Borough Council. We had to do that at times. We had to learn how to do that, and I would definitely look at what's available and work on the project, whatever we had to do. I definitely look into it, and I know I can actually work on that because I've done it in the past. Thank you.
There are a good number of county services that are faced with a understaffing challenge. I know it's not a county service, but EMS is something that I'm involved in. There's an incredible staffing shortage in EMS. And a great deal of that is a result of, there's barriers to entry to a lot of these lines of work, right? You need to have some sort of certificate or some sort of training in something. Now, we sit here in the Luzerne County Community College. This is a phenomenal resource to get people trained in the sort of things that the county might need. Now, this is an affordable school. I know that firsthand. I'm a graduate of LCCC. This is where I got my EMS certificate. But there was a barrier to entry for me as well. It was about $600, and there are different class materials included with that. I think that would be a drop in the hat for the county budget, and I think if we want to improve the efficiency and ability of our services, we need to train people, and we could use LCCC for that.
I was prepared for this question because I've been thinking about it. How can the county address vacancies and reduce turnover is another part of this question. High job turnover undermines efficiency, increases the risk of costly errors, and forces experienced staff to devote time to training new hires, ultimately degrading the quality of service provided to our county residents. To address this, I think the county must cultivate a strong workplace culture that emphasizes retention. Key strategies include offering clear opportunities for growth, promoting effective and supportive leadership, recognizing and rewarding employee contributions, fostering teamwork, and proactively managing for retention. Thank you.
Well, folks, understaffing, I can attest to it up front. Bad management leads to bad employees. People are understaffed in this county because they have bad management. People don't want to work for bad management. There are some departments in this county where the job is somewhat dangerous on a daily basis. When you don't have leadership, nobody wants to take that chance and they leave. As far as budgeting goes, the county needs to step back and look at what they pay their managers. There's a lot of departments in this county. The rank and file makes more than a management position, which makes it very difficult to promote within, and you don't have leadership. So I think it all needs to be examined very closely. I can only attest to the departments I've dealt with throughout my career, and I can tell you right now, a lot of it is due to bad management. I think that we can keep employees retained, and you won't have the turnover you have if you hire the managers that are qualified. Thank you.
not to keep echoing Steve, but I agree with him. You do need to have qualified people that are, in charge of other people. And so good management goes a long way. I think that having a smarter budget and being a little bit innovative about how we structure our teams. I come from the private sector where, we have to do those things on an everyday basis. And you have to problem solve, and you have to make one thing fit with the other thing without increasing the amount of money. So, let's get creative, let's be innovative here, and let's solve these problems. That's what this is. This is an HR problem that needs to get fixed. Thank you.
I believe in strong leadership, and leadership is where staffing problems usually begin. If you have a weak leader or someone that is not in tune to his employees or the people that serve under him or her, it makes for lackluster performances. I believe in proactive government, not reactive government. I believe in tracking the use of budgeting so that we can redirect and have better use of county work and facilities.
Okay. So we received a number of questions around this same topic, so it would really be a multi-part question, I suppose. Do you believe that the current charter, current county charter that is a sound document that only needs to be tweaked, or is it a flawed document that needs to be completely overhauled? Also, again, we've received a number of questions along the same line. Do you think candidates, what do you think about candidates and term limits? Do you agree with term limits for county council candidates?
Yeah, so that question had, it was a bit of an extreme. Now I understand that the home rule charter that we currently have, it came as a result of a string of corruption that we had here in Luzerne County. And I think by and large, the home rule charter has done a decent job of addressing that corruption. I fall between, keeping it exactly as it is and completely reforming it. I think I would be down. I would be open for adjustments to the home rule charter. I think I think one of the challenges that the home rule charter faces at the moment is, we have a large county council, and I think that makes it very difficult for the public to access county council in its entirety. But again, I think part of that, and this goes back to my previous answer, I think making county council more accessible would be something that we can do to address that shortcoming of the home rule charter.
And do you agree with term limits?
I do agree with term limits, yes.
There you go.
Okay, thank you. Sorry.
It's tricky.
Okay. I do believe the charter is sound and just needs to be tweaked. I am a firm believer in term limits, and I believe the majority, it's been statistically proven, the majority of the population nationwide as well are in favor of term limits. I've been following the Government Study Commission meetings very closely and attended a majority of them myself and given much public comment on the Government Study Commission. One of the things, they're having a meeting tonight that they're addressing is they're voting to approve that section on term limits in the county council section, and term limits are in there, and they've discussed that. One of the things they discussed, which I'm very adamantly against, is resetting the terms they're discussing resetting the terms for candidates like controller, DA, and current county council members if a new charter is implemented. And I'm firmly and squarely, totally against that. The first charter did not do that. Thank you.
Well, the Home Rule Charter, I think, has definitely had its bonuses. When the Home Rule Charter began, we were over $400 million in debt. And in 3 more years, we are going to have that paid off, which I think is exceptional to the members of the council from the implementation till now to keep that for us. I do think the Home Rule Charter is a very good document. I think it does need to be adjusted here and there. I don't think there's any major adjustments to come. As far as term limits go, I firmly believe in term limits. I think you need fresh blood every so many years. And if you are still that involved, once your term is up, you could run again in 4 more years. And I have no issue with that whatsoever. It gives fresh blood to come in there. And if they're not working and you trust the person who was there before, by all means, they should have the opportunity to come back in and serve. But it should be for service. It should not be for status. Thank you very much.
I'm going to be a man of few words. The charter is sound. We can tweak it, and I am A-OK with term limits.
Like the rest of the panel, I do agree that the charter is pretty effective. It can use some changes here and there. It was put in place to negate or to sidestep away from corruption, like the Cash for Kids. So, and I think it's being effective in those terms of correction. As far as term limits, I do agree. I believe that it avoids complacency with sitting members, and it gives others an opportunity that are qualified to take a chance and run for candidacy. Thank you.
Tony.
I also agree with the term limits. And the charters, I believe we need to look at the charter every so often because life changes and things in the county may need different things. So it always needs adjustment every so often. So I think it always needs to be looked at. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. So next question, I think we start with Denise, right? Yes. So how would you invest in flood mitigation and stormwater management?
Well, I recently attended the Flood Authority meeting, and just to get a basic understanding of what they do, the Flood Authority manages a lot of the levee system, and I also recently read in the paper that the BRIC program, the federal BRIC program, is no longer going to be in place for Duryea and Exeter, which was really a shame. They're going to have to look for more funding or other funding now for that to proceed. So I think those are things that the county council needs to be in tune to, because what affects one area often affects other areas. So we need to be aware of what's going on, how we can help. If we can help, is it the flood authorities area? Is it the county council? Can we help by supporting them with grants? The administration could help maybe with that as well, or at least give direction with it. It's something that we all have to be very aware of. Thank you.
Thank you.
As far as the flood mitigation goes, I believe that the county needs to be involved along with the federal government. The Army Corps of Engineers is who designed and erected the flood levee system throughout the Wyoming Valley. I believe the areas in Duryea, Pittston, and down toward that end of the county, I think that we need to talk to the Army Corps of Engineers and find out what will it take to put a levee system in there? What will it take to connect to our levee system? The sanitary authority strictly is a washing area for the rain tax. That is a federal tax. We cannot get rid of the rain tax without federal authority. So I believe that in order to put a levee system up, we need to partner up with the Army Corps of Engineers, find out what it entails, what it will cost, and then we work from there. You can't go in and say it's not budgeted, because it may not cost us anything, it may cost us everything. But until we sit down with them with a plan, we won't know. Thank you.
So we have emergency management experts both within the county and outside of the county that advise on these things. Pure and simple, the answer is we take their guidance and do what they say. You know, I'm not going to stop a flood. None of us are going to stop a flood. That's why we have experts. We listen to them. If they say that we're going to build an aqueduct somewhere, then we have to save the money or make the plan and execute. You know, whether it's in conjunction with the Army Corps of Engineers or somebody else, that's the bottom line. You get told by FEMA or the emergency management people what you got to do, and then you execute. That's all.
In 2024, the Luzerne County Recovery Plan, we received about $112 million in federal grants and monies to make repairs to our area and our levees and give our homes and residents protection from flooding. I would endeavor to work with other county members to use budget and work hand in hand with union and the Corps of Engineers to make better provisions and protections for our homes and our families in our community. Thank you.
Yes, with the flood protection, you're talking very big projects. You're going to need the federal government, the state government, and the county. The county could not do that on its own. And you have to bring everybody in, the engineers and all that, and the communities will have to agree with it. You just don't build dikes without the community agreeing to it, because you build a dike, it affects other areas. And Cartwright was very instrumental in bringing a lot of money for our dikes all the time, every year, millions and millions of dollars for our dikes to shore them up. And we have to continue to watch the dikes we have before we build new ones. Thank you.
Yeah, fundamentally, this is a large-scale issue. The Susquehanna River the Susquehanna River and its tributaries cover an awful lot of area in Luzerne County. This is an issue that we need the assistance of the state government and the federal government to address ahead of time before there is a disaster of any sort. We know what the result of the last election was. We know we have to reach across the aisle to work with the federal government, but that is something that I'm prepared to do, that we have to do in order to keep Luzerne County safe.
Let's start with Steve on this one. What are your top 3 priorities if elected to Luzerne County Council?
My top 3 priorities. Number 1, we do need to get the opioid addiction problem under control. I don't know if there's anybody in this room who doesn't know somebody who's been affected by it. It is that widespread, it needs to be controlled. Secondly, roads and bridges. As I said earlier, with 3 bridges down now, we are finding it harder to navigate around the area. It has affected emergency services. People you love might be in a town where a fire truck takes an extra 2 minutes to get there. 2 minutes on a fire is a very, very long time. It's like 2 hours of sitting here. Number 3, I think county government needs to be more controlled with the departments they oversee. Again, we are losing wonderful employees. We are under budget, over budget in half these departments. There's not a lot of oversight. It needs to be controlled. The more we control it, the better employees we have, the more pride in this county. It creates more jobs. It creates a better workplace. Thank you.
Attract good paying jobs, increase the amount of homes that we have for people to live in, and fix our infrastructure for the future. Top 3, that's it.
For me, my top 3 is housing, infrastructure, and transparency in local government. Firstly, infrastructure. We do receive funds to correct and repair our infrastructure, and I think it should be redirected to more urgent needs like roads and updating our outdated water systems and sewers. Secondly, I believe that the housing crisis is very serious in Luzerne County, and being a realtor, I see it every day and understand that even we have like a blighted properties system here in the county, and it's not being used since 2019. We need to use the council and make the committee available so that we can have better properties and more sound habitats for individuals in our county. Thank you.
My three issues are infrastructure with the roads and bridges, and with my experience being on Luzerne Borough, I would know how to tackle that problem. There's a lot of things that you have to talk to people, you got to talk to engineers, you got to have a plan. You got to understand the plan. Unions, we need to bring the good jobs back. Our local union workers who spend their money here, and also with the schools, they shore the schools up. And my last one would be voting is another big issue on my topic. Thank you.
Well, I think it's a good thing that we all have very similar priorities. Housing is a major priority for me. I have way too many friends who graduated with me, both in high school and in college, who are not able to attain housing here in Luzerne County. I think that's a disgrace. I think we have to keep our younger generation here in Luzerne County, and in order to do so, we need more attainable housing for normal incomes. Second, infrastructure is another major priority of mine, as it is for anybody who has a car here in Luzerne County. I think it's disgraceful that you can pop a tire on one of our many potholes here in Luzerne County. And economic stimulus is a major priority for me. That's another way that we retain those who graduate here in one of Luzerne County's many colleges or one of Luzerne County's many high schools.
Okay, I think my very first priority is budget management, continuing to pay down the debt. It's very important to keep running a tight ship right now and keep that in mind. Then two, the infrastructure, the roads and bridges, that is in process, and to keep on that gets done, keep the pressure on. And three, reducing the prison costs. The prison is 1/4 of the budget. If we could reduce the prison cost and look at that, I think that is imperative to help with the budget. Thank you.
Denise, your answer was a wonderful segue to my next question of what are you, oh no, Steve, you didn't go. Did Steve go? Did you go on that one? Okay. And also something that's near and dear to your heart, Steve. What are your views on the current conditions at the Luzerne County Correctional Facility, given its issues with overcrowding and other infrastructure issues? That didn't sound like me.
Whatever that said. No matter what, I'll never be ChatGPT.
Yeah.
So, as far as the conditions of the jail go, I mean, it's deplorable. It's sort of an unethical situation. You know, the county has a responsibility to the people that work there and also to the people who, frankly, live there, okay, or are incarcerated there. And, you know, it's not like we don't have another prison facility in the county available to us to use. And so before we go and spend $300 million on another one in a similar location, we should really think about repurposing SCI and also look at all of the opportunities that are there if we're willing to be innovative, because it's a big piece of property. And, you know, we can store things there. We can have other departments, you know, work out of there. It's not just a prison. So anyway, that's my answer.
From what I understand, the current facility... From what I understand, the current facility is is a little bit over 150 years old. So it's failing modern standards of correctional facilities. It's inadequate for the inmates. It's unsafe for the staff. And I think that while rehabilitating an existing structure may seem like it's the best use of funding immediately, Over the long term, it might not be, just because you would also have to think about Band-Aids and repairs over and over. If you build a new facility and make it state-of-the-art and make it according to the current standards of correctional facilities, it would be a better environment, not just for the inmates. It would offer better rehabilitation and reintegration into community and make life better for everyone involved. Thank you.
Tony.
Yes, I would definitely like to look at all the options that we have and work with the other council members, and I believe we would come to a solution. You'd have to figure out if, like, could we do this for a while, or do we have to build a new one? And that's what you got to plan for that. And it's the safety issues for the prisoners and for the workers. And you can't forget about that. That's very important, because you have someone get hurt on the job or killed. That's horrible. We don't want that happening. So we will rectify that situation. Thank you.
This is another issue of scale. Now, the costs of building a new prison are they're extravagant. However, over time, I think the cost of maintaining an ancient building would add up, and I think it's entirely possible that might be the best bet for the Luzerne County taxpayer. With Tony on this one, I think that we should definitely examine every option that we have, but at the end of the day, what is best for the taxpayer should be front and center in our minds on County Council.
Okay, so like I said, the current prison currently consumes 25% of the budget. The projected cost of building a new prison is estimated to be $500 million. Challenges with the current facility, from my understanding, is it's an outdated multi-story design that requires doubling up of staff, which drives up overtime and pension costs. The proximity to the courthouse is an important factor. It minimizes sheriff transport costs. And the former retreat site is not a preferable alternative site because it is also an aging infrastructure. There are flooding concerns. There's a bridge that goes across to it, so another bridge to have to worry about, and it's quite a distance from the courthouse. My recommendation would be, right now, we stay with our tight ship with the budget, but start formulating a long-range plan to design and build a modern, cost-efficient prison in phases at the current site. Thank you.
Well, folks, the current prison was built in 1869. There was a new tower put in it in 1988. The infrastructure of the prison leads to blind spots. It leads to very, very large safety concerns. Another issue is you have people that are running that jail who have never worked a day on those blocks and don't understand the safety concerns. I was involved in an incident there back in 2016 directly, and I could tell you it is getting unsafer by the day from the employees I speak to on a daily basis. The prison is $31 million a year of your budget money. We are putting lipstick on a pig. I'm sorry to put it like that, but that's what we're doing. It is an age structure. It is in deplorable condition, and you have management that doesn't run it well, which makes it twice as unsafe. It is time to look for a new prison. Unfortunately, if we don't use retreat, we are going to get hit with a very hefty bill for it. But it's probably going to be smaller than the bill we'll get in the long run for safety concerns. Thank you.
Okay. So going away from infrastructure and things like that, what do you see as the biggest and most positive feature that Luzerne County has? So we'll look more towards the positive now. Dawn, I believe you are number one.
Oh, okay. Positives for Luzerne County. We are a community of residents and people that work together, that try to always work for the better interests of each other. We have a government that, while lacking in some spaces to use budgets and administration better and more effectively for our citizens. We do have a government that cares about our communities and does its best to try to step in and help wherever possible.
Tony.
The positives of, I believe the people are the positive, because the people want to make this county a better place to live, and I hope to be part of that on Luzerne County Council, to make everybody be proud of where they're at, and to make everybody want to come back to this area and have better paying jobs. And we're working towards that goal. I see the positivity in Hazleton, and we need to bring back Shikshini, Glen Lyon. We got to bring all these people back into the community, and I believe that's a positive. Thank you.
Through my experience in healthcare and in area politics, I've been lucky enough to meet a wealth of different people here in Luzerne County. The one thing that sticks out is just how reasonable and involved the people here in Luzerne County are. And you can see just in the attendance in this room, people care an awful lot about the future of Luzerne County. I think we have a fantastic cohort of people here in Luzerne County. And so I agree with Tony. I think the strength is in the people here in Luzerne.
I think the one positive.
Microphone.
Thank you. I think the one positive that really jumps out to me is the community is a very family-centered community of strong values. They value their heritages. It's a great place to raise children and for children to go to the school systems. So that would be the thing that really stands out to me the most. It's the community, it's the people, the values, and it's just a great place to raise a family. Thank you.
I think one of the positives is, as everybody knows, we are known as the Valley with a Heart. Your neighbors, you may not talk to them every day, but when something goes wrong, somebody's going to knock on your door and say, what can I help you with? If you drive around Luzerne County, the rural areas, the urban areas, it's a beautiful county. Some of our views are absolutely stunning. This is a beautiful place to have a family. It's a clean place to have a family. The people here are wonderful. You may not know them, but if something goes wrong and they see it, they're going to come up and say, can I help you? It doesn't happen like that all over the place. I think what we have here, it's really a wonderful, wonderful community, and I think we need to take more advantage of it. I really do. We need to say hello a little bit more to our neighbors. And not everybody's going to hit it off perfectly every time, but there's also no reason to fight and argue either. You just, when somebody needs something, you reach out. And it may be somebody that you're not thrilled with, but at the end of the day, you do one thing nice for somebody, it goes a long way. And in this valley, I can say that happens quite often. Thank you.
If I don't start by saying the people, I think I'm going to get in trouble. It is a fantastic place to grow up. It really is. I have memories of just being a kid, and we didn't really have and I mean, I played organized, t-ball and stuff, but you just go around and find your neighborhood kids and play baseball and or soccer or whatever implement of fun that you could find, and just camping, skiing. I mean, we really have it all for families, and it was. I just had such a great childhood growing up here. That for me is hands down the best reason to be in this area. As I say this to a room full of adults, right?
Thank you. So we received a number of questions that had to deal with national issues. And typically that's something that in the forum I feel like we should have steered clear of. However, I guess just putting it a little bit more broadly and a little bit more general, does county council, do you as a member of county council have a role in combating, quite frankly, maybe unpopular federal programs or federal issues such as, again, there was an article this week about a possible ICE facility near the 44th Airport, or just unpopular programs again, or cuts, national cuts, things like that. Does county council have a role in combating those things that are on maybe more of a national issue? Tony, I think you are our number one.
Well, yes, I do have a problem with ISIS going down into 44 near the airport there. I think they're getting ready to deport people that they shouldn't even be doing. People should have, it's a process that we have. We have laws in this country. I don't think they should be doing stuff like that. And also the cuts in Medicare, Medicaid, they're just cutting everything, and it's going to affect all the people in our area. Luzerne County has many people on those programs. And also education, they're cutting education, and that's going to affect the school food programs and all the other special ed programs. So there's definitely a lot we can protest about. Thank you.
Obviously, as a voter, as an American, I have my own opinions on national issues. I express those through my vote and through whatever work I'm able to do in politics. But in the capacity of county council, I think elected officials are able to represent people. That's what they are there to do. Now, obviously, you're there to represent people in whatever office you're elected to serve in. But you are also able to speak on behalf of people in your constituency, and you can go ahead to those other elected officials in other offices, be it Senate, Congress, presidency, if you're able to, and voice those people's concerns in your constituency.
During door knocking, this is the one thing that came up repeatedly with me that residents would say to me. They're very disturbed by what's happening nationally. And what can you do on council with what's happening nationally? That came up constantly when I was knocking on doors, and I noticed it. The county council can pass resolutions and share their position. They've done that. They did it in the past with what they call the rain tax, which is actually a stormwater fee. And they sent a resolution to President Trump's first term to ask him to end the rain tax. So the county council can pass resolutions and share their position. What is happening on the national level can certainly trickle down to the county level and can affect and have a bearing on the residents in our county. And then the county may have to, take care of issues that would have been affected by federal grants or federal funding. Thank you.
Well, I must say I agree with John and I agree with Denise. I also believe it's a three-tier type of system where we are elected by the residents. If the residents have an issue with any national policies that are happening and they bring them to us, then I think we take them to the next level, which would be our state representative, our congressman, our senator. I think that is the proper way to do it. We are not going to pass federal resolutions at the county council table, but we can take them to the lawmakers above us. And I believe that is our job, to be your voice. And if you bring that to us, I believe it's our responsibility to take it to the next level and get answers for you. Thank you.
I think we're in a time where we're going to have to be innovative on county council in a lot of different ways. And no matter who is in charge of the federal government, if, for example, funds for certain programs dry up, then the question is, what can the county do? And that is where innovation comes in. You have to think outside of the box. You have to get ready to plan for what if there's no more Medicaid? What are we going to do for the people that are dependent on it? What if there is no more food program, right? Sorry, nutrition program. What can the county do, maybe not to solve the world's problems or the nation's problems, but to make sure that the residents here in Luzerne County are taken care of? And that's going to require innovation. It's going to require leadership that has experience with solving difficult problems. Thank you.
To me, immigration is more of a federal problem and issue, and Luzerne County Council does not have a lot of authority to do much with it. But what we can do as local officials is make our community safe and include everyone. To use our budget more wisely and be transparent with everything that we do for immigrants or people that come to our communities that might not necessarily be citizens. As a first generation American myself, it is a close issue to my heart, and I would hope that I could be instrumental in helping other families and communities acclimate and readjust to our community and become members and citizens.
Okay. So I've been given the high sign several times. I think we're going to take about a 5-minute break, and then we'll come back. We'll have our final several questions and our final statements from our candidates. All right, so we're starting with Johnny on this one. We received a question. Do you feel that districting council will bring more equity? Do you believe that districts in county council, so people representing their individual district, do you believe that will bring more equity to county council?
This is a fantastic question, and it's not something that I can say that I have put a ton of thought into. It's definitely worth looking at. When we talk about amending our home rule charter, that's one of many options that we would have in looking at that type of thing. And obviously there are the major population centers, and with those population centers you'll have different pooling of power. So perhaps the districting would be a way to address that sort of thing. But yeah, no, I'm more than happy to look at the different options that we have when it comes to modifying our current charter.
I'm 100% against it. I've been going to the Government Study Commission meetings, and I've given public input on this when they were discussing it and voting on it, and they voted for going forward as proposing all at large. They talked about little fiefdoms. They talked about, representing every section of having every section of the county represented. And I believe that the 11 council members now do represent and have been representing the county very well. We have members from Hazleton, Pittston, the north, the south, the east, the west. I'm also a big proponent of keeping 11 council members and not the proposed 7 that they've proposed, and I've given public comment on that. I think the more representatives there are on county council, the more discussion and more representation for the county. Thank you.
I don't believe in districting the councilmen. I believe it should be an at-large status. I think you get a bigger pool of candidates. I think you get more qualified candidates that way. I think that most people in districts, it'll be a city council member that will want to go into that, and it's just a cycle that never ends. There are no term limits for town councils. So you may have somebody that's been in there 25 years, and they're going to go up to your county council, and they're going to sit there until their term is up. And I believe at large you get a much bigger pool, much more diversified pool. I also do believe in keeping the county council at 11. I think it just needs to be sped up a little bit. There's a little too much lag, but I think if you speed it up, I think 11 is a very good number. I think it represents everybody. And it gives the voters more access to the candidates and the council people. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm against the districting idea as well. I think that it's already been stated, but council does represent in all different parts of the county. Also, the county is, while it's large, it's not that large. You can get from one end of the county to the other within about an hour. And I know just from going around and canvassing on this campaign that the county seems a whole lot smaller to me now that I've actually been on the roads and doing it, And so for those and a bunch of other reasons, including the fact that as soon as you district, you are going to set up fiefdoms, and there is going to be a king or maybe a couple of kings that just, hey, I'll do it for this long, and then I'll sit out for 4 years. You take my spot for those 4 years, we'll get you in, and then I'll come right back in, and I'll do it again for 3 more terms. You're just going to set up a system where there is no diversity in leadership. This way is much more competitive.
I do agree with Steve and Denise on the idea that the council should remain at 11 seats. It is already well seated with individuals from various parts of the county, so I think it's well represented for all sectors and all districts. And adding and breaking it up into districts, I think would make it harder to understand for our residents and make it more difficult for us to get through the bureaucracy. We don't want more bureaucracy. We don't want more red tape. We want less. Thank you.
I believe that at-large is the best way to go. I also believe with 11 council members, we should keep that. I was on Luzerne Borough when we had 9 council members, then we went down to 7, then to 5. And then it's so hard to get the work done because people have jobs and everything else, and then to go and do all the work that you have to do in the community, it's a struggle. So I want to keep it at 11 because there's a lot of work that has to be done, and more could be done with more people working.
Okay. Our next question, I feel like, has to do more with the upcoming campaign in the fall. If nominated, would you commit to joining a coordinated slate this year, working with others to share resources, align messaging, and campaign as a unified team?
I absolutely would. As you can all see, the candidates here who are speaking tonight are all excellent. And I've gotten to know them all on the campaign trail already. I respect and admire all of them, and I would be happy to work with them to help us move towards all getting on the county council in the fall. Thank you.
Yes, after these last 8 to 10 weeks and meeting all these candidates up here, I don't think there is a weak link or somebody who doesn't deserve to sit on that council. I think we are a very good united front together at this point, and I think it would be definitely open for discussion for a slate. There's a lot of great ideas up here, and they're all diverse. Nobody has the same exact idea on everything, which I think broadens what we can do. So I definitely would be open to the discussion of this happening. Thank you.
%, yes. It is going to happen. We are going to be a united front. And we are going to give those Republicans for their money.
Throughout campaigning, I, like Steve, have had the opportunity to meet with, speak to, and respect each person here at this panel table today. I would be more than pleased to work with them and already sitting council members to work for a better future for our community and our county. Thank you.
The answer to that is yes, because I've been with these people for several weeks now. I got to know them so much, and they're great people. Everyone up here is a great person. They care about their community. They have good ideas, great ideas. And we need to stick together so we can win in the fall. We need the majority. That's the key. If we don't get the majority, we're nowhere. And I think if we run as a team, we should get the majority, maybe get 5 of us on there. Anything is possible if we work on it and believe it. Thank you.
It would be an honor for me to work with the folks up here. throughout November through this campaign, and hopefully on county council if we're able to really give those Republicans a run for their money and win out in November. So shortly, yes, it would be an honor to be at a slate with the team that we have here.
With all your answers as Democratic chairman, I can breathe a sigh of relief. Thank you. So this is coming into our last question, and it was a question given to us by somebody in the audience, and I feel like it's a very open-ended question, and a question I did not think of. What do you have to offer that no one else does? I'll give you a second to even think about that one if you want. Steve, I believe you did.
I think I bring 24 years of experience of working in Luzerne County, working with many different departments in Luzerne County, taking on a leadership role in my position when I was employed there. I believe that leadership can carry over. And I think the other thing is I'm more interested in what you need than what I want. I would much rather you come to me and say, I have an issue, can you help me? Yes, I will do everything in my power to do so. I don't say that wholeheartedly, I say it because that's what I do. So I believe my leadership, I think I can help with things on council, and I can help the people of Luzerne County. That's all I want. I want people to know that this county is an amazing place to be, an amazing place to live. So with that, I do humbly ask for your vote. Thank you.
So I am a data analyst who has private sector experience working for a local broadband company, Astound Broadband. And I provide leadership on that company on several fronts. One of the biggest ones is making hard business decisions, strategic business decisions, the kind of things that we would have to do every day on county council. The challenges that we face need to become opportunities. And in order to make challenges into opportunities, you have to know how to innovate. You have to know how to think about problem solving, and you have to be able to collaborate with other leaders. And that is something that I bring to the table, the knowledge and understanding of how that actually gets done and has gotten done in proven methods for decades in business. So, thank you.
These aren't the final answers, by the way. So they still have one more go around.
Well, what I bring to the table is my dedication and leadership skills that I learned in the military. I joined the military as a young person, 18, and during the military service, I was appointed a squad leader, so I've always had leadership qualities and dedication to my community and service, and that is what I would bring to the table as a Luzerne County Council member.
What I bring to the table is I was a union president for Valley West Support Staff. I got a contract for the women at the time when it wasn't popular for the women. Also, with Luzerne Borough Council, 25 years. So I had to get reelected all the time, but I balanced the budgets and did all the things we did in the borough. Also with the legislative committee for PSEA, so I know how the laws are written. I know how they're passed. And also with PSEA PACE Board, which is a political action, and I understand how the politics works also. Thank you.
I've been lucky enough to have had a number of unique experiences so far. Part and parcel to who I am as a human being is my experience as an EMT, my experience in local politics, and they've taught me a number of different things. But mainly it's taught me how important it is to listen to people. And so I bring to this a certain humility that is required to go ahead and listen to people, listen to the people who would be casting their ballots and hopefully electing us to office.
There we go. Okay, what do I bring? I bring a real, I think, solid understanding of county government through my service on the Board of Elections. I've also been attending many council meetings since even before my time on the Board of Elections. And I've been attending many of the committee meetings, the authority meetings, to get a basic understanding of how the county works. I'm very extremely responsible and accountable, and I'm very thorough, probably to a fault. And so I bring that dedication to doing all the necessary homework and research on every issue that will be presented. Thank you.
Okay, before we get to our final statements from our candidates, I would like to thank you all for coming out tonight. As you can tell, we have just a number of 6 here, and also 7, actually, very fine candidates for county council. Emily Singh, also on the ballot, could not make it here for personal reasons today. You have the very difficult task of choosing 5 of these county council members, again, we got to feel for those council members tonight. And just keep in mind on your ballots, number 1, for the Court of Common Pleas, Mark Buffalino is the only registered Democrat on the ballot. Tim McGinley was going to lead us to taking back the Controller's office here in Luzerne County. And we have 2 statewide judge candidates, and those judge candidates are the first line of defense against an overreaching government, from federal government, from the Trump administration. So please, Brandon Newman for Superior Court and Stella Stye for Commonwealth Court. And again, both of those courts extremely important, and 2 very great candidates, and just keep in mind, one of the only courts that did rule in favor of Donald Trump in 2020 was the Pennsylvania Commonwealth Court. We could take that court one step closer to a Democratic court this election, so please keep that in mind. And also in the general election, it's still early, but we have 5 Democratic judges for retention at a statewide level, all Democrats. So we're playing defense on these 5. So vote yes on all of those. A little early for that, but make sure you tell your friends. So we will get to our final statement, and we will start with Dawn.
I want to thank everybody for coming out this evening. I want to thank everyone for coming out this evening and supporting our community and our county and our candidates here, and getting to know some of us. As I had mentioned before that I'm a veteran, I put on my uniform at a young age because I had an idea that I wanted to protect and defend our country and our Constitution. I still stand by those same ideals today, and I want to be a voice of transparency and help for our community. And given a chance, and give me your vote, and I will be happy to be on the Luzerne County Council and work to better our communities and our county. Thank you.
So I want to just thank the party again, and you as the audience, for coming out here and doing your patriotic duty and really giving us the opportunity to talk with you for 2 hours. That's a lot of time for you to slice out. But the reason that I'm running for this position is because I believe that there is one really big challenge that all of the other challenges kind of are connected to. And the big challenge is that we have an issue with income in Luzerne County. We don't have enough good-paying, quality jobs. And when you don't have money jingling around in your pockets, all of the other stuff gets a little bit worse. and just grates on you a little bit harder. And all of the challenges that the county has to solve are just a little bit more difficult to solve. So if we can work together with municipalities and with businesses and get these things solved, I think that it will help, and I am a leader that will do that. Thank you.
First of all, I'd like to thank everybody here tonight for the opportunity for us to speak to you. I'd like to thank the other candidates for making this a great event. Tom Schabula as well, LCC, the Democratic Party. I am here tonight because I want to serve. I want to serve the people of this county. I want to help. I want to give back what they've given me. Wonderful childhood, wonderful adulthood, great job, great pension. I can't ask for more. I'm a very, very lucky man. And I want to give that back to the constituents of the Luzerne County. So with your vote, I'm hoping we can move forward. I'm hoping we can move forward in a leadership role. I want to continue what previous councils have done and pay off our debt by 2029, which I think is a testament to the county council. And again, thank you all so much for coming out tonight. It means the world. And have a great night, and please be safe going home.
Thank you again, everybody, for this opportunity. Public service means doing the hard work, listening closely to people, and making thoughtful decisions that improve lives. That's exactly the kind of leadership that I'm offering. I promise to always do my homework, to listen with care, and to lead with common sense, integrity, and a deep commitment to every resident of Luzerne County. I believe we can build a county that is stronger, more prosperous, and more welcoming for everyone who calls it home. And throughout this campaign, door knocking and having real conversations with residents has been the most insightful and meaningful part of this journey for me. Once elected, I determined that my goal is to continue door knocking at least once a week to learn county residents' concerns. I hope to earn your support, and together we can build a future that reflects the best of who we are. Thank you, and have a wonderful evening.
I'll also echo my thank you to the Democratic Party for making sure that this event happened today. My thanks to LCCC for having us all here today, and my thanks to all of you. This is an incredible turnout. I'm very happy to see the amount of participation that our community still has for local politics. You've gotten to know a little bit about me. I am running on more attainable housing for young people, for older folks, for veterans. I am running on a platform that allows us to fix our crumbling infrastructure, and I'm running on more economic prosperity for us here in Luzerne County, for the young folks, for the older folks, for the people of working age. But I am also running on a platform that allows me to listen to people, to get out and have conversations with people. It has been some of the most rewarding conversations I have ever had, just being on this campaign trail and talking to the voters here in Luzerne County. I'm looking forward to continuing that through the primary, and with your vote, I'm looking forward to continuing that into November. Thanks.
Last but least, well, I want to thank LCC, the Democratic Party, the moderators, the audience, my fellow Democrat candidates here. And I'm running because I want to serve the people. I've served the people for 25 years at the borough, in unions. I've served, and I just enjoy doing it, to help people who need help. And I'm very experienced in it, and I know I can bring something to the table. So I'm asking for your vote. Thank you.
And once again, thank you all for coming out. And again, I would like to thank Fern Lerd, Tony Thomas for helping out with this event, getting everything set up, and formulating and getting together a lot of our questions that we're here tonight. So I thank you both wholeheartedly on that one. But as I believe Steve said, is please get home safe. And again, you have a lot of homework to do for this election on who your 5 candidates will be. Thank you very, very much. And we have an event coming up on the 8th. At Keeley's in Pringle. So it starts at 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock we start. So please join us. Our county council candidates, our controller candidate, our judge candidates will be there, and it will be a wonderful event. So thank you very much. Have a wonderful evening.